Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to put together a video just to basically do an overview of our class and what we've talked about, discussed, looked at, and the main themes. I thought it was a very interesting class. I've never taken a class like this, as in the history and how our world is formed and the different technologies. It's quite unique how we as a society are always trying to find the next thing that is going to change our world or make our world easier. So I'm going to go back to pretty much the first part of our class where we were asked to basically choose from the telegraph, telephone, how sound was captured, and those are the first 2 or 3 chapters that we were supposed to write on. I chose the telegraph and how it changed the way that we were able to function and communicate with Morse code and the different aspects of how wire and sound and the great controversy of trying to get it paid for, moved out west, and people running with it. And it just blossomed from there and exploded, basically. Then we were talking about the how TV and how the industry was being controlled by certain entities, AT&T, RCA. RCA was a government affiliate that it was the backbone for a lot of the production of televisions, cables, wires. That costs a lot of money in our country in order to do those things, and it needed to be funded some way. And the government has the deep pockets. If you look at the military, that's how we get a lot of stuff done. That's how we get a lot of research done, is through the military, because we always have deep pockets. I mean, our country's in debt, but we always have enough money to put in our military. TV changed the world in the aspect of it brought different events to your home, and radio did the same thing, but it was totally different. You're able to hear it, and with TV, you're able to see it, and maybe the sound might be a little bit delayed. Maybe the broadcast might be delayed. But it's still amazing that you can watch the New York Yankees or a baseball team in general play, and you're able to watch it on TV when it's going on at the same time. That's amazing. You're able to basically bring the ball game into your living room. That was a big change for our country, our society, our culture, because we were always a culture in which dealt with family and how we do different events with family. Now we're able to bring outside resources in and make it a family thing. The calculator and how it was formed. The computer. The first computers were amazing. My father is 80 years old, and he was in the electronics field as a master electrician. He's seen some of the old computers. He worked for the government for several years, and he bought me a computer in the early 80s, a Commodore 64, and I thought that was just amazing. But he was always on the forefront of technology. He worked for R.F. Harris, I think. It's based out of Rochester. It's a communications company. The government still uses Harris. So he's always been involved with technology in one way or another. So he basically, I didn't even know it at the time. I thought it was just a computer, no big deal. How our society has changed and shifted from personal computers and all the way up through. I've talked about that in my other blog. But it's just amazing how our country accepts and adopts and uses. Integrated circuit. I went to school for 35 Romeo, which is avionics mechanic and technician. And that's what we had to study, is the integrated circuit. I actually worked on the motherboard for one of the Apollos. It's the same motherboard that they used in the Apollo, I think 11 or 13. So the integrated circuit is an item that changed the way we are able to make power flow and make it into different circuits so it's functioning. The microcomputer and the processor. We look at these cell phones, and they're amazing, the things that we can do with them. We can bank, we can call, we can text, we can send emails, we can look stuff up on the internet, and it's a constant thing that we always need with us. Take photos. I was talking with my wife the other day about putting together some pictures for Christmas, and she was like, "Do you know where the camera is?" And I said, "No, I don't know where the camera is. It's probably where I left it the other day or last year, because we don't even use it. I bought a nice camera, and they're almost obsolete because of this. We're able to take pictures and use our cell phones to make just as good quality pictures as before. And that's where technology has gone. It's amazing. And then as we look through the internet and the different networks that are formed and why they're formed, as we look through and we did the network study, we were able to see that sciences have brought together their resources so they can be connected in a network and be able to communicate. UCLA, Stanford, they want to be able to communicate, and that's what caused basically the internet to be formed. That's one of the issues that helped create it. The other issue was being able to send messages, emails, and to leave them in a spot where somebody else can get it, easily access it, and read what they need to read. So our society has changed so much. I'm not going to go into the aspect of cable and satellite. I talked about that in my other video blog. But it's amazing what we're coming down to. We talked about it in class about the virtual reality and how this generation wants to experience something that's never been experienced before. Being able to play video games and feel like you're actually in the game. And the technology is allowing us to do those kinds of things. But it's never ending. It never stops changing. And that's what makes technology just an amazing field to go into. It's hard to keep up with it, because it's constantly changing, and it's changing faster than we can read about it, understand it before the next item comes out, and you're trying to grasp what that item's about. So this class has really opened my eyes to a lot of different things. I'm a little bit older than most of my fellow students, so it's taken me a little bit longer to grasp everything and the speed of it. But this class has really opened my eyes to the different concepts and the different entities that are used and how the government used them in order for us to get things done and do research and do field tests, basically, on how this will work and how it will interact with society and whether they will accept it. So thank you for listening. I enjoyed this class. It was fun. Have a good day.